Joined with me now is Michael Peca, a former national hockey player, and he's a proud Canadian here at the Mississauga Sports Dinner. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about your junior career and starting out as a young athlete?
Well, I guess like every kid growing up in Canada, especially in the Toronto area, you watch your Leafs, and hopefully, right, you watch your Leafs, and you want to play hockey when you get older. And fortunately for me, I had the drive, but not only that, I had great coaches growing up. Youth hockey for me in this area was everything, and then obviously as you get older, you got to start making more sacrifices and get a little bit more dedicated. And I had great mentors to kind of keep me focused on that process. So it was a wonderful journey, and just to fast forward. I mean, we had a 25-year reunion this past summer with our minor midget team. And of all the things I've gotten to do in my career, whether it's playing the Stanley Cup final, win Olympic gold medal, my youth hockey from ages 10 to 16 are still the most memorable years of my life. And I try and tell people that. And now that I work with young hockey players in the Buffalo area, you try and stress the journey. It's all the process that makes anything enjoyable. But certainly growing up in this area really fueled my fire, because hockey's obviously a focal point.
Where did you play closest to home? And it may be the Toronto Maple Leafs, like you already mentioned. You watched them growing up and then you got to play with them. But other than that, in the Peel region, where else did you get to play in this area?
Well, I was just sharing some stories already this evening about, when I was growing up playing against Mississauga Reps, the big rival on Saturday afternoons at Dixie Arena. And that was great. We were kids. That was our Boston Garden that we got to play in. And Mississauga Reps were always a very physical, hard team to play against, even at a young age. And if anybody knows youth hockey back in the 80s, it was like midget hockey now. I mean, there was full contact. It was good hockey. So that small rink in Dixie was a lot of fun. And even now, I still get my son up here to skate with local skating coach Don Braid, and he gets to go to whether it's all these rinks in Mississauga where she works out of. So it's still part of the process.
Now, you told me your favorite memories were in youth hockey, but can you tell me your biggest achievement, you would say, to date?
That's such a hard question to answer, and I think partly because I don't look at things that I accomplished within the game as necessarily accomplishments. I think I want to play the game. I love playing the game. I try and look at, what was the mark I left. And I think my greatest achievement, I think, was being named captain and being either captain or assistant captain, of 12 of the 15 years I played in the league, and being named an alternate captain on the 2002 Olympic team. Those things to me speak volumes more than winning the gold medal or being in the Stanley Cup final or winning a Selke trophy, because that shows that you're respected by your peers and your coaches. And I think, as you become a professional athlete, I think the thing you really strive for is to earn respect of your peers. And so that to me is probably one of the greatest accomplishments.
Now, you said you were named captain for a few years, but you had another name as well. Can you tell me a bit about your nickname and where you got that from?
He's talking about Captain Crunch. That actually started my first year pro in '94 when I was in Syracuse, which was the Vancouver Canucks farm team. So we had NHL training camp, and then the lockout was put into effect. So I went down to Syracuse to play during the lockout. And very first game of the year, I knocked some guy out from Hershey, and the guy in the marketing department started calling me Captain Crunch because it was the Syracuse Crunch. And long story short, every time that I would hit somebody and they didn't necessarily get up right away, he would start putting tombstones in his office, and there were sponsors that got involved, so I'd get gift certificates and things like that. It's not the right incentive. I don't want to send the wrong message, but so that name just kind of caught on. And so when I went to Vancouver, it wasn't real big at that year, but then I got traded to Buffalo after my rookie season, and being so close to Syracuse, there was enough people that knew people within the Sabres organization that it just sort of caught on. It never led to a nice exclusive endorsement deal with Captain Crunch cereal, which would have been great because it's one of my favorite cereals. But it was kind of neat.
Didn't get your face on there either.
I know.
And lastly, just shifting gears a little bit, I know you now work for the Buffalo Junior Sabres at home in Buffalo now. Can you tell me what you think the most important thing is about youth development, and why are you so passionate about it?
You know what? Because like I talked about before, the most impactful years of my life, not just, allow me to become a good hockey player, but was just, just to enjoy life was those years, having great mentors, having great teammates. A lot of those guys are still my best friends today. I think that the number one thing we try and stress to kids, and I think it's just gone in this most recent generation for the most part, is just having some humility in life. I think so many people get caught up in the finances that are involved in professional sports, and they forget that it is a sport, it's a game. You got to enjoy doing it. You got to have a passion for it, and if the kid wants it, let the kid try and achieve it. The kid will never get it if mom and dad want it. I've seen that play out way too many times. But just have humility. Enjoy the process. Have humility. So we're trying to develop good young men more than anything, because if you're a good young man, then you have the focus to play the game, and you're focused to dedicate yourself to whatever it is you want to do, and you'll succeed regardless.
Thanks, Michael. Enjoy tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.